The Kentucky Derby, the Kentucky Oaks, they are drawn. The fields are out, and the betting Bible will be out soon. You can get that betting Bible right now at racingdudes.com. If you want to know exactly what we're playing, you're going to be able to get that. You're going to get pick 4 and pick 5 selections on Friday and Saturday, as long as top 4 selections from everybody at racingdudes.com. It is the giant one. It is the Kentucky Derby / Kentucky Oaks betting Bible. Like, so far this year, these Bibles have been good. I have a 17% ROI on my wagers. Jared has a 65% ROI, and that started way back for the Pegasus, and then all the big days from the Pegasus till now. That's what the ROI is. I've got a great feeling. I've already handicapped a lot of the card. I really like a lot of horses on these 2 cards, so let's hope it all goes well. So now you can go pre-order that betting Bible. It is right there for sale right now at racedudes.com, and it'll be out in full later on this week. So now is the time to get your hands on the betting Bible.
Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, depending on your time zone. Curtis Kalleward here, a.k.a. Magic. Just waiting on see Aaron was a little late, so I figured I'd go live, see how everybody was doing. Happy May 1st, everybody. It's May Day. Hope you are enjoying this beloved Russian holiday. I bet all of you knew that May Day is a Russian holiday. A couple things we're going to talk about today. And first off, we've got the live odds right now. Advanced wagering for the Kentucky Derby is open. And we're going to go through those odds once Aaron comes on here. We'll talk about it. But before we do, I do want to remind each and every one of you, as you saw in the opening video, if you're a little late joining us, I'll let you know right now, the Kentucky Derby, Kentucky Oaks betting Bible is going to be available today. It is coming out today. We'll have that available at racingdudes.com. If you already pre-purchased it, if you are already a monthly subscriber, it will be in your account today. So get excited about that one. If you're not familiar with that one, the Kentucky Derby, Kentucky Oaks betting Bible will have exact race-by-race wagering plans at Churchill Downs for both Friday and Saturday. You've got 13 races Friday, 14 races on Saturday. You're going to get picks, selections, races that the Racing Dudes think you should pass on. All of that information is going to be right here in the Kentucky Derby, Kentucky Oaks betting Bible. The picks were all submitted last night, the top 4 consensus picks from all of the handicappers. Aaron told me of the 27 races on the card between the 2 days, 1 race has the same top pick from all of us at racingdudes.com. So if you think you can guess what that is, I'll give each of you one guess that you can put in the comment section, and I'll let you know if you got that right. But again, the betting Bible, it's one of the best, in my opinion, it is the best product that we offer, because not only is it the strongest opinions from Aaron and Jared with the wagering articles, those strong opinions aren't just telling you to place win bets or exacta bets. They're telling you if they think the race is a crapshoot. If they don't have any strong opinion, they tell you sometimes the best bet you can make is the one that you don't make. So that is good information to have there. Again, it's going to be available today, Wednesday, May 1st, at some point in your account if you are a monthly subscriber or if you already pre-purchased it. Lots of people are excited for it. We're getting tons of emails from people saying, I pre-ordered it. Where is it? We love the excitement. We're going to get that to you today. So I know Aaron and Jared are just putting the final finishing touches on this beautiful product. And thankfully, well, not thankfully that he scratched, but thankfully Encino scratched before all of us put our picks in, because I know a bunch of us would be scrambling for the Kentucky Derby to get that in. If you are a monthly subscriber, like I said, this will be included. If you are not a monthly subscriber and you're considering getting the betting Bible for the Kentucky Derby, Kentucky Oaks, the Bible itself is $50. We offer monthly subscriptions starting at $70, and that is for a 1-month plan for all of Aaron's picks for every race, every track, every day across the country and up in Woodbine. So that's $70. So if you get that, it's going to just be an extra $70. However, or an extra $20 on top of what the Bible costs. But you're going to get every single Bible we put out included in that monthly subscription. We're 2.5 weeks away from the Preakness Stakes. You can bet your bottom dollar we're going to have a Preakness Stakes betting Bible as well. That's another $50. So if you sign up for the monthly subscription plan starting at $70 a month, you're saving $30 just on the betting Bibles alone. And then again, you get 30 days worth of picks for every race, every track, every day across the country. So if you haven't yet, head over to racingdudes.com. Check this out. You can go right up to I'll show you right here on screen. Go down to your Get Racing Dudes Premium. Scroll on down here. Ignore the annoying Disney Plus ad, but we got to make money somehow, right? Aside from selling picks. And then here we go. The Derby Oaks Betting Bible. Boom. Add it to cart. If you subscribe today, you get the betting Bibles absolutely free. There's the premiums right here. Boom. $70 a month for just the premium picks. It's going to get you everything that you need there. So that's my plug here. My long plug is meant to be a short plug here, but let's talk about the news of the day. Here we go. Kentucky Derby Advanced Wagering is open. You're going to be able to see the current odds for some of these horses. Some of these are crazy. Some of them are not going to be surprising, but let's go through it here. Dornoch, 20-1 morning line is 8-1 right now in advanced wagering. A lot of people possibly loving the rail draw for him with the Louis Sias. He is a speed horse. He's never finished outside of, well, until last race in the Bluegrass, he never finished outside of the Exacta. So you've got that going for you. I'm laughing it through what some of the comments here are. But yeah, Dornoch 8-1. That's a huge shock to me. Sierra Leone not getting as much love as we would have thought. He is 5-1 right now. Mystic Dan 30-1. Not too big of a surprise. That is a longer shot. I will tell you, if you think it's going to be muddy, or if it ends up being muddy Saturday, rather, those odds are going to go way down because people are going to look at that Southwest Stakes win that he had in the slop at Oaklawn and just rolled, and they're going to think, well, he's going to do great. And maybe he will. We'll see. His best race by far on paper is that sloppy effort at Oaklawn Park. Catching Freedom, holding steady at 8-1 there. Not up or down. He's just right there. Catalytic, 34-1, not too far off the 30-1 shot. Just Steel, I've seen a few people who love Just Steel to win the race. 29-1, should get pretty good odds there. Honor Marie taking some money down from 20-1 morning line. He's 14-1. Horse was second last out in the Louisiana Derby to Catching Freedom. Number 8 is Just a Touch. He's actually slipped up a bit from his 10-1 morning line. He's now 15-1. Yeah, Kevin B says Mike Somich is keeping Catalytic steady at 34-1. I love the running joke about Somich betting Catalytic. Not for me, but I know Mike Somich does love him. Kevin, yes. Well, there are people, if you ever go look at our comment section on YouTube, which wade into those comment areas carefully sometimes, but there are some people in the comment section who love Just Steel. It was not just Dwayne. Love the coach. I don't know that he is I don't believe that he has a YouTube account, or let alone knows how to operate one. There's Aaron. Hey,
hello. Sorry, late meeting.
Just been vamping here while you had your meeting there. So
okay.
Before we keep talking about this, we have the advanced Kentucky Derby wagering odds we're kind of going through right now. 3 years ago today, we had the most controversial Kentucky Derby finish in race history. I shouldn't say that. The most controversial Kentucky Derby period. Medina Spirit crossed the wire first in the Kentucky Derby, cashed the bet, and then 3 years later, we're still fighting things out about should he have won the Kentucky Derby? Was it the right move? Can people get paid out? Can Bob Baffert ever be allowed to run the Kentucky Derby again? Do you remember what you were doing 3 years ago today?
Well, I showed up at a great time. I really appreciate you. I should just come out of a meeting and jump on here, and you're talking about this. I do remember. It was Mother's Day, and when I heard about it, I believe, and I was at my grandmother's house actually, and I got a text saying, explaining it. Well, didn't explain it. I heard about it the night before, and then I got the official word, and I looked at Heather and said, "Well, we got to go home." So I got work to do. And I remember I got a call from Sirius XM had me on. There were 3 or 4 bigger shows that had me on to talk about it. And I remember explaining to them the process that this was going to be and how they were wanting to know, well, who's the winner of the Kentucky Derby? And I said, it may be a year, it may be 2 years, it may be 6 months. It just the blank stares and dead silence of what the hell are you talking about? That's what I remember the most about it. And when it happened, I was just like, I'm not surprised. And here we go. I'm going to have to do this. And instead of me handicapping the fifth at Belmont this weekend, I'm on another show trying to explain why our sport's so messed up. So it wasn't that much. It wasn't that fun. But I remember when they crossed the wire. We were standing there that day. We were there and just kind of looking at each other like, oh boy, this is something's fishy about this one.
Well, I can tell you 3 years ago today, actually at this time, Colson was born. Colson was born. That's where I was kind of going with this. So I'm glad that you just brought it way down, but I'm going to bring it up because my son turned 3 today. I was woken up to him running into the bedroom and jumping on the bed going, Daddy, I'm 3. I'm 3. I'm 3. Yes, you're 3. Congratulations. You're 3. I need my coffee before I can match your energy right now.
Well, to be fair, I didn't ask for this. I just showed up and here it was. But no, happy birthday to Colson. I always know it's around this time, but I never know the actual date. So happy birthday to him. Yeah.
I one of the best presents that I got from him being born from a friend, close friend who loves horse racing and been following the racing news for a long time, got me one of the special Kentucky Derby bottles of Woodford Reserve with the actual the label and everything. So I've been saving that. It's got 18 more years till we're gonna crack that open. On his 21st birthday, we're gonna open that bottle and see how it goes. But as soon as I got it, I'm like, I'm wrapping that thing in so much bubble wrap and protection just to make sure it makes it. And I have it duct taped together so that I'm not like yesterday when Encino scratched and I'm like, I need a GD drink. I don't just bust into it accidentally. So we've made it through the Encino scratch with that bottle still intact.
Yeah, you've told me that story before, and that's your forethought's pretty amazing there. So I love that. That'll be great. That's why I'm not a father. I could never think of cool things like that. I would just be like trying to get him through another day. Hey, you didn't kill yourself today. Great. Let's see if we can do it tomorrow. Hey, you didn't stick your hand in a light socket today. 1 for 1. That kind of stuff. So
that's why we have covers on all the light sockets. Yeah,
that's right. See, I would. None of mine are covered.
Listen, Darby's smart enough. She knows not to touch that. Curse mouth. Oh, okay. First of all, Kevin, I did not say. I said 18 more years.
Right.
He'll turn 21. That's what that is. Did I name the kid? Did you know that Machine Gun Kelly? You might not even know who that is. His first name is Colson. So there is actually another Colson in the world with that name. But no, did not name him after that. Named him after
that is, by the way. Come on.
You do? Okay.
Yes.
It's Mr. Megan Kelly. That's how, or Megan Fox. Sorry, different Megan. Megan Fox, very different Megan. But no, we same name, but it's named after the Marvel Cinematic Universe character, played by Clark Gregg. Phil Coulson, the guy that gets killed in the first Avengers movie early on the ship. You go pew pew. We named him after a guy that died in the movie. Maybe that's not the best idea we've ever had.
I don't know why I showed up today.
I had to vamp so much without you here, but let's get into the action here. Here we go. Kentucky Derby advanced wagering odds right now. I'll put them on the screen. We'll go through the first 10 kind of in order. Dornoch 8-1, Sierra Leone 5-1, Mystic Dan 30-1, Catching Freedom 8-1, Catalytic 34-1, Just Steel 29-1. Honor Marie 14-1, just a touch 15-1. TO Password 45-1. Forever Young 7-1. What stands out to you from this top 10 here?
Well, Forever Young getting a little bit of play. I think that was to be expected. Honor Marie getting a little bit of play as well down there to 14-1. Two horses that I think were logical. I look at this and I go, boy, Sierra Leone at 5-1. That's kind of interesting so far. I think that's a pretty fair price. I'll be quite honest with you. I'm not playing him to win, but if you're playing him at 5-1, that's not the worst. And also Catching Freedom at 8-1. I don't think Catching Freedom should be shorter, or excuse me, I don't think Forever Young should be shorter than Catching Freedom. So I think Catching Freedom at 8-1 makes a ton of sense there as well. Though that's kind of what stands out. Everything else is about what you would expect from these horses.
Shotty's the John White effect. By the way, check that out. It was 2 hours, 12 minutes last night for Blinkers Off with the annual John White interview, but packed full of great information, great stories. John White, truly one of the great storytellers of our generation, well, of his generation. He's of a generation of 1 or 2 above ours, I guess I should say. Kevin says he'd take 5-1 on Sierra Leone over Forever Young at 7-1.
Yeah,
I would as well. A lot of question marks with Forever Young. He's 5 starts, 5 wins, 5 different tracks all across the world. Impressive, but he's never faced any of these horses in here. And there's some really talented American horse. Sierra Leone, we know what he's going to do. He's going to drop back, make one big ass run in the stretch, and see if he gets there in time. So I'm with Kevin on this, Aaron.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think John White would not agree, but that's all right. I agree. I think, look, I think one of these things, somebody on my dad and I show was like, well, if Fierceness was 4-5, because I was saying I think he should be even money because I think he's a 50-50 shot. He said, well, if he's 4-5, who would you take? And I'd said it would then depend on the odds. Well, if the odds were 5-1 on Sierra Leone, I'd probably go ahead and do it. I think that makes sense. So I guess long story short, if you like Sierra Leone, you like Catching Freedom, really anybody, maybe except for Ever Young on this first list here, you're probably getting the price you want. I mean, price is relative to your opinion. I can't tell you what price you want. You have to say it. But anyway, I think oh shit, I just saw Dornock's 8-1. That's insane. Never mind. Don't bet Dornock 8-1.
That one I was trying to figure out kind of live on air when we first started the show. I was like, is it, maybe it's because it's the rail draw with Saez, he's going to go forward, but especially off of that Bluegrass, just complete dud. They tried rating him. The only way Dornock has a chance to win at any odds, I think, is if he just blitzes right out of there and somehow beats everybody else to the punch, which he could do. We saw Verifying from Post 2 do that last year. He got to the lead right away, but that wasn't the spot. You didn't want to be on the lead in last year's Derby. One thing that's a little surprising to me with the scratch of Encino yesterday, he was 20-1 odds. I think we all assumed he'd be lower than that come post time if he made the race.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking back and forth with Vinny Blond, and Vinny's opinion was that it was going to hurt the odds on the Cox horses. I didn't think so. I didn't think it would really affect it that much. And you're seeing Catching Freedom holds at 8-1. Just a touch has gone up to 15-1. That's surprising to me, Aaron.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. Sometimes these horses is like, they're the wise guy horse, and then the betting happens and they don't. And that's kind of with him. I'm squarely like, I think he's kind of fool's gold a little bit, honestly. The more I really analyze it, it's like, what was really his excuse not to win those last 2 races, and what is going to flip that to this race?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the answer to that.
I heard your phone go off. Please tell me we don't have another scratch.
Dude, I usually don't even look at my phone when we're doing this, but this time of year it's like, okay, no, it's not. It is about horse racing, but not about the Derby, thankfully.
Okay, good. Yeah. We'll move on here. The second half of the field, we've got 12 Track Phantom 42-1. I'm laughing because that's more than double his morning line. West Saratoga 34-1, down from 50-1. Endlessly 37-1. Domestic Product 32-1. Grand Mo the First 43-1. The big one here, and we'll pause at this one. 17 Fierceness 3-1. You said you thought fair odds on him were even money, so you've got to love 3-1 on a horse that you think is literally a coin flip to win or not.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what it came down to me. I was sitting here for hours and hours just kind of debating over it and stuff like that. And honestly, it was Sylvia in the Discord. Mm-hmm. She wrote on there, she goes, look, if he shows up, he's going to romp. There's no doubt. And I said to myself, yeah, she's right about that. And then I thought, okay, I've been on record and I believe it that, hey, it's 50-50. He's either going to show up or not, right? If he shows up, he's going to win. That's my opinion. That doesn't have to be everybody's listening. That's just mine. And if he doesn't show up, he's going to lose. But if I truly believe that's a 50-50 chance, then his fair odds for me are even money. Okay. You look at the odds and he's 3-1. Well, it kind of makes your decision for you, doesn't it? Like, to me, that is value. That is the definition of value. You're getting a bunch of clicks up on the tote board more than what you think he should be. Now, again, that's my opinion. And it's also my opinion that it's 50-50 shot that he shows up. And some people don't think it's that high of a shot. Some people think he has a 0% chance of showing up. And obviously you can't play him. But I look at this thing and I break it down and say, hey, half the time he's going to show up and win. Half the time he's not. Well, that's 50-50 shot. Give me the 3-1. So it's value for me. I know it's not going to be value for everybody.
Yeah, and again, like Aaron's saying, it's fair odds for him. It's fair odds for whatever you think it could be. I mean, if you like Endlessly, I know that Rodney, for example, loves Endlessly as a long shot. That if the horse takes to the dirt, he thinks he's got a strong chance. 37-1, more than fair on that horse. The rest of the odds we'll go through real quick. Stronghold 40-1, Resilience 23-1. Society Man 63-1, Epic Ride 58-1. Mugatu, if he draws in, 78-1. Some great odds here. I did laugh at this. Is Nick Severs, who's betting on Wednesday before a race on Saturday.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Nick isn't one of them because it's D-Gens with no patience. That's who's betting on Wednesday before a race on Saturday. Nick might actually come back in and say he's got $20 on somebody right now.
Yeah, who knows, right? But yeah, I've always kind of wondered that as well. And again, there's nothing, there's nothing in the pool right now. These odds are fun to talk about on our show because it's fun to talk about. I don't care if they don't mean anything or not. But at the end of the day, this time on Saturday, these odds are going to be drastically different.
Nick says, yeah, $200 actually is what he's starting bet.
I love that.
Curtis Manilow, forever the MVP of the chat, says, if I thought I would have a 50-50 shot, I was always hitting send on those 3 a.m. texts. I know that's not horse gambling, but I understand the mentality. It's still a gamble. It is still very much a gamble. And if you got a 50-50 shot with those 3 a.m. texts,
I think he said it better than I could say it. That's it exactly. That's exactly what we're talking about here. You got a 50-50 shot. Why aren't you going to take it, right? Unless you think the projected odds of I'm not going to get into that with the 3 a.m. text. But you take those 50-50 shots, and if they don't work out, well, hey, it was 50-50.
Where is it here? Andy Byers said this is the weakest Kentucky Derby he has ever seen. I heard Kurt Hoover when I was on air with him last week, which, by the way, I'll be back on with him today, 2 to 5:30 Pacific on FanDuel TV. Kurt Hoover and I get to play with the fun little, I don't know if you know this, Aaron, they have a vertical monitor that's like the world's biggest iPad is what Mike Joyce calls it. I get to play with it on camera today, show you how to make bets. So I'm very excited about that. Anyways, Kurt Hoover said this is one of the weakest derbies to him too. And specifically for Kurt, it's because Bob Baffert isn't allowed to run in there. When you make that argument saying like if Baffert with one of the top 3-year-olds in Muth right now, not able to run in this race, it's hard for me to say he's wrong.
Yeah, I agree. And that's another reason why I just kept going back to fierceness, because it is a derby to where, and look, you guys can debate it all you want, but from where I sit, his best race is just better, right? And that's really not it is kind of a knock on the rest of these, but like it's every other horse you watch. And let me just say it right now, some of these horses I'm going to mention absolutely have a shot. I'm not saying don't bet them, whatever, but I'm just saying you watch Sierra Leone and it's like, yeah, he's impressive. But then it's like you watch who he beat in the Bluegrass. You see how those horses were running, and it's like they were stopping, like they helped him get there, right? And obviously Post and all that kind of stuff. Catching Freedom, it's kind of like, yeah, I like this, but type of thing, right? He's immature. His turn of foot isn't quite as devastating as Sierra Leone. He got beat by Sierra Leone, all this kind of stuff. Another one that's the trip may be a problem. Just a touch. I get that people think he's going to sit a great trip, but he just hasn't finished very strongly. What I'm trying to say is when you go down and down and down this list, these horses aren't great. And so I don't know if it's the weakest one. Well, I don't know what Andy said, but I don't know if it's the weakest he's seen, that I've ever seen. I'm not sure, but it's not a great field. It really, most of these preps, the winners kind of stood out, and the winner, these favorites have won, and you still exit the race going, it was okay. Like think about Dornoch in the Fountain of Youth. It's like, all right, he's going to win. And he did. And you watch it back and it's like, that really wasn't very good, And I felt like if you go back to our live shows and you watch those live reactions, including the Holy Bull, by the way, you would say, yeah, they're not really excited about anything.
Dog Check, speaking of the Florida circuit here, it says, what's your thoughts on Catalytic? He qualifies here by finishing second to Fierceness in the Florida Derby. Fierceness wins that race by a record margin, but he was second and he got himself into the Derby. I'll throw you a second, Aaron. For me, I couldn't get to this horse because he broke his maiden on debut, but it was at Gulfstream Park before the championship meet. That's the competition quality is much lower generally at that time of year outside of that championship meet. So in the summer, not that strong at Gulfstream. And then I couldn't forgive him for that second place effort at Tampa Bay Downs to start his 3-year-old season. So I thought if he was worthy of being a Kentucky Derby contender, that's a race he should have won. And then second to fierceness, but record margin of victory. Sorry, I speak for a living on FanDuel TV, I promise. And it was a bunch of allowance horses or, future claiming horses I thought that were behind fierceness in that. So Catalytic was the best of an allowance field. Okay, again, how does that make him a contender for the Derby? Your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I pretty much agree with all of that. I think when I look at Catalytic, I see a horse that is progressively getting better. So that's a positive, right? I mean, every race he's getting a little bit better. I thought his Florida Derby, you kind of almost have to watch it when fierceness runs and then forget fierceness in the race and watch the rest of them. It wasn't awful. I feel like if this horse was entered, say, in the Ohio Derby for his next start after that Florida Derby, you'd go, yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I just feel like with Catalytic, the logic is there that he's going to improve. Mm-hmm. But how much is he going to have to improve to compete with this group? This is going to be really tough. And, so he got beat 13.5 by fierceness. Let's say he can cut that margin, in a perfect world he can only get beat by 10 by fierceness. Well, who are the other horses that are going to finish ahead of him if that happens? Probably a lot. Like, I don't see fierceness winning this race by 10 and Catalytic getting second type of thing, right? So it's too much too quick is kind of my easy answer to that.
Yep, I think that was a great way to put it too. West Virginia Derby, you'd be like, yeah, this was Indiana Derby, not poo-pooing the state of Indiana like people think I was doing yesterday. It's just those summer grade 3 races where there's a lot of money. You make a lot of money winning those races, and it's they're grade 3s, but that's I think the spot that you would play him here. Before we get out of here, Aaron, Kevin B says, what I like about the Saturday card is normally we have monster favorites and it's fun to watch but not bet. This year we have competitive fields and we'll get good prices on most races. I started the show hyping up the Bible and the mention that of the 27 races between Friday and Saturday, only one race out of 27 does the entire Racing Dudes team of handicappers have the same top pick. We have strong opinions in some races, but we also have very strong opinions that diverge from our own everybody else's strong opinions. So a very exciting time, and the Bible's got to be close to coming out soon.
I would think.
That's Aaron's way of saying it's out of his hands. So he's done everything he can. And go ahead.
Yeah, so the Bible has everybody's picks in it. It has my game plan. I'm completely done. We're just we're waiting on Jared to finish his game plan, and I thought he had it, but I don't know. Anyway, we'll let you know when that comes out. But 1 out of 27 races, all the same. And look, I think Saturday specifically, maybe a little Friday, but I think there will be some heavier favorites. But I think Saturday specifically, Kevin is right. There are horses that when I look at them, I think they should be favored, and they're not, and sometimes they're not even like the second choice. So I don't know if the lines are accurate. It's going to be fantastic. I'll put it that way, because I have a lot of horses I like that it's like, wow, if I can just get a couple of these home, it's going to be a really good day. And Kevin's right. Usually it's Cody's Wish, which is fun. Like, it's very much fun, but you're going to get even money or whatever on him, right? That type of horse. Jackie's Warrior when he 2 years ago during the Rich Strike year, that kind of thing. This year, it's the prices are there.
Final question: over under the number of Derby horses going to Baltimore. Last year it was 1 Kentucky Derby winner Mage, but last year's Derby had 5 scratches out of a field of 23 that entered, so it feels like it's a little bit of a misnomer there. Let's see. If Just Steel comes out of the race with 3 legs, he's going to go. So there's 1. Assume the winner goes, there's 2. Asmussen will probably, if Track Phantom isn't horrible, well, actually, I shouldn't say that. I will say I'll set the over-under at 2.5. Derby horses to the Preakness.
Yeah, the way this trend is going, I would go under. I just would. There's some. I mean, Mystic Dan, like you got to think it's like, okay, no Brad Cox runners unless they win, right? Pletcher, no, unless they win. Like the quote unquote new age Chad Brown, no, unless they win. The new age guys, they're really probably not going to do it. Although Chad Brown did run good magic back, that was a shock. But anyway, you got to look at like Mystic Dan for McPeak. He would do it. Like you said, Lucas with Just Steel. Yes, he would do it. So that'll be the determining factor. I would go under.
Middle finger to Shoddy. I'd say Encino, but still not happy about that. Thank you. Yeah, I'll go under too. You got to assume the winner, Dwayne Lucas, but a lot of the horses, like Endlessly, the big question mark is if he can handle dirt. If he handles dirt, he's probably going to win. McCarthy doesn't even want the horse here, so he's probably not going to go, yeah, let's turn around in 2 weeks and do dirt again with him there. The Japanese horses, Teo Password's only made 2 career starts. I'd be surprised unless, again, if he wins, he goes. But outside of that, not sure it's going to happen. All right. One final plug. Kentucky Derby Betting Bible, Kentucky Oaks Betting Bible. 2 days of racing, 27 races compacted into one epic betting Bible here. You're going to get race-by-race wagering plans from Aaron and Jared. Every single race, if they like a race to bet, they'll tell you this is what we're doing. If they don't like a race to bet, they'll say, we think you should pass on it. Which, again, sometimes the best bet you can make is not making a bet on some of these races because they get real awful squirrely. You can get that at racingdudes.com. You can pre-order it right now. You can sign up for a premium subscription plan. If you do that for $70 a month, it gets you every pick, every race, every track, every day across the country from the great guy sitting right below me on screen here. It also gets you the Kentucky Derby, Kentucky Oaks Betting Bible, which is a $50 value, and the Preakness Stakes Betting Bible, another $50 value. So you're already saving yourself $30. That's an extra $30 that you can go ahead and spend betting on the Kentucky Derby or the Kentucky Oaks Day cards. And you can bet using the wagering plans from Aaron and Jared on that one. Aaron, I teased it. Nobody guessed it. What's the one race out of 27 that we all agreed on the same top pick?
Go buy the Bible. Find out. I'm not telling you.
There you go. That's the answer. The Bible does include Mike Somich's picks. It has my picks, Aaron's picks, Jared's picks, Dr. Miranda's picks, Vinny Blond's picks, and Papa Dude's picks. You can get all of those right there, and then we'll also tell you what the consensus is for that race. Programming notes, the Magic Mike show will be on Thursday, 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific. We're doing the Kentucky Derby late pick 5, so races 8 through 12. There is another one that ends in the 2 after races post-Derby. We're not touching those. It's an all-graded stakes pick 5 sequence. I'm very excited about it. Put together my ticket last night while giving Colson a bath, which was, he was playing in the bathtub. I was sitting next to him on the computer like, no, just don't drown. Daddy's got to work on the Alice Shiva stakes right now, but got that all figured out. So we'll have our tickets for that Thursday, May 2nd, 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific, and then blinkers off. What are you guys going to talk about? Because I know you're not going to go race by race and give all your picks, because again, that's what the Bible's for.
I would say the Kentucky Derby is what we'll talk about on Blinkers Off. I would say Kentucky Derby, Kentucky Oaks will be Blinkers Off, and that'll be Thursday at some point as well. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back again Thursday, tomorrow, May 2nd at 9:30 Pacific, 11:30 Central, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. For Aaron, for Jared, for Mike Somich, Dr. Miranda, Vinny Blond, Papa Dude. Did I forget anybody? I'm not sure. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you guys again tomorrow.